Hey everyone, welcome. I am Shades at Night,
And I'm Remarkable Tutorials.
and today we are going to be discussing Smallville, uh,
Uh,
the the show. So, as you guys know, this show's been going for 10 seasons now. We're halfway through, basically the 10th season, and this show is loved by some and hated by many. But we both have an interesting opinion on the show. So, Remarkable Tutorials, do you want to start us off?
well, it's hard to say where to begin, to be honest. Like, there's been up and downs in the show, of course. Like, season one, like, everyone loves season one.
Hmm.
That's just because it stayed most consistent with the overall, like, Smallville or, like, Clark Kent universe as a kid. And, like, it slowly, though, added teenage drama, which not a lot of people like at all. Like, they compared it to, like, Dawson's Creek or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have the Lana saga, which is just a continuing. Oh, God. Words can't describe the whole Lana situation. Yeah, you go.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say this is a show that I always find myself wanting to watch, even though a lot of the time I feel like I hate on it. I mean, I think they've done. I think Michael Rosenbaum was such a good casting choice for Lex, and the fact that
Oh,
he's
he was
not in the
excellent.
show anymore kind of hurts it in a way.
Yeah.
Um, I think they've done fantastic with Brainiac and Green Arrow, especially.
Oh,
Um,
Green Arrows.
Yeah, those two being characters that haven't been done in live action before, I think they've done those guys pretty well. I think the casting of Erica Durance as Lois is very good.
Oh,
I think she's so much like the comic book character, even though they give her some really shitty dialogue sometimes. And like we'll get to that maybe later, but
don't forget that she's hot too.
yeah, that really helps. So I'm one of the people who is not a big fan of Tom Welling.
Oh, I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I Yeah, I don't know. I like him sometimes. I think he does bumbling geeky Clark really well. Like whenever he's wearing the glasses, I think he's done a good job. But I just think he has such a dry um I don't know I don't know. He just there's something missing with him to me.
What do you mean, like his Supermanness, like not wearing the suit, or like
No,
his
no, no.
acting?
Just yeah, just with his acting, like with his portrayal of the character. He's lacking some kind of substance to the character, I find.
Eh, I completely disagree, and I think Superboy X would back me up with this right now.
Yeah, I know he
Shout
would.
out to you, boy. Uh, no, but I feel he does bring the acting to the table. I mean, think about it this way: he's been on the show for 10 years straight.
Hmm.
There's only so much you can do with that character after same thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
go
I
ahead.
agree with all your. I think Justin Hartley was excellent.
Yeah. So what I was saying before that I find the dialogue with Lois to be horrendous sometimes. Um, I think the show really suffers from that, especially since Miller and Goff have left the show. I find that I don't know, some of the writers that they've had come on have written these really tacky lines for the characters. Like an example in that episode where um I'm trying to think. It's during season 9 and the blur like stops a thing from blowing up, and Lois is at his house, and she's like doing laundry everywhere and that, and he says some crappy line about, well, I better remember detergent sometime, or something stupid like that. I'm just like, the fuck are you talking about? They give these
Yeah,
characters some terrible lines. Like Lois has so many. Like, and I guess Lois is kind of like that in the comics, but it dialogue is can be really different in the comics because I mean you have people in comics, you have people talking while they're in a fight scene. You don't have that in live action, movies or television. So I don't think you can use that as a defense.
yeah. No, I understand. There is sometimes it's really corny logic. Like I have a real complaint. This is like it's so stupid. You might think I'm being ridiculous, but
Hmm.
in like season 10, when the episode Kara, Like,
Yep.
she and Clark are standing on that windmill or whatever,
Hmm.
and she's like, she says, a change is in the weather or something, or changes in the sky. And I was just like, this is such an unnecessary quote and just sounds so stupid to me. You might think like, why does this bother you so much? I don't know. It's just you with your complaints about corny lines. That's like my view of a corny line. That's very unnecessary.
Yeah, fair enough. Now I think we should talk about the Clark and Lana saga
Oh my god.
because yeah, that's gotten on a lot of people's nerves. So um
And we could bring up season 8 in that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So let's start with early on.
okay. Uh, I liked it at first. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, she
Um,
was hot at first. It's cool.
yeah, yeah, but I don't know. It gets really along the way, especially in season 6 when she's in a relationship with Lex. It's just like, oh my God,
Oh my god.
stop. Like I really
Please
liked
don't
that
do this to
season.
us.
Yeah, I really liked that season because of they were bringing
Justice.
in the Justice League and all that sort of thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Season 6, episode 11, Justice. Oh my god.
yeah, that's a really cool episode. Um,
Oh,
and we got to see,
Nerdgasmic.
and we got to see more of evil Lex at that point.
Yeah,
So like
like
I
his
was
whole like forcing Bart to run and everything.
yeah. So that's what I liked about the that season, but at the heart of it, unfortunately, there's all this Clark and Lana stuff, and some of it isn't bad, but for the majority, it's really crap. I guess that's the only way I can describe that is that it is crap.
Yeah, and then the return in season 8.
Yeah. Well, the thing that pissed me off about that is that we were like, oh yay, Clark and Lois are finally gonna get together.
Yeah, they're about to kiss, and then Lana enters the room,
And I was just like, oh, are you kidding me? Are they seriously gonna start all of this again?
and
Um,
then they all hooking up and doing it and having a blast.
yeah.
And then she absorbs kryptonite. Like what?
Yeah, giving her a power is stupid.
Yeah. And a side note, that whole Lex in season 8.
Hmm.
Oh my god, that was such horseshit. Ugh.
Uh, what having him like not dead and dead and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, like that robotic body crap.
Yeah.
No, that was just ridiculous.
Well, I think they've really realized how much the show really relied on Michael Rosenbaum, and like I mean that they can't go a season since his uh you know quote unquote death. I don't think they've been able to. Well, they haven't been able to go a season without making him somewhat of a focal point. Um,
Mhm.
and the first episode of season 10, I thought that actor was doing. I thought he did well with what they gave him. He was doing a bit of a Rosenbaum impression, which was good.
Mhm.
But I was just like, but with the child Lex, I find myself really not caring about that.
Oh, I thought he was really good.
The little kid.
Not the little, but like the medium little kid.
I thought he was okay.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him. The
Yeah,
first one was kind of like annoying-ish.
I didn't. It's funny. I didn't mind him, but I don't know. I guess this show has always had trouble with actors, like
Yeah.
um with like the actors that have like small parts in a couple of episodes. Some of those actors can be really crap, and then the bigger name actors that they get um to play like characters from the comics and that they have trouble getting those guys back later in the seasons. Like they've had a heap of trouble getting Michael Rosenbaum back. Um,
Ugh.
and from what I've heard is that he was having problems with the. I could be wrong on this, so if you want to leave a comment about how wrong I am, okay. But I've heard that he wasn't getting along with the people in the well behind the scenes.
uh, I'm not sure if it is that. I think it's more of shaving his head and the fact that he did it for 7 years and he feels that he doesn't have to do it anymore.
Okay.
I don't think it's the issues with people because if that were the case, they would have like okay, we'll fire these people if you come back, or maybe they'll leave you alone if you come back, or they would have made a deal about that. So I think it's just the whole bald shaving head thing. They offered him a bald cap, and he still hasn't accepted.
Hmm.
And and I think just 7 years, he thinks like I've had enough. It's okay. Like I don't want to leave the show negatively, so like let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. I doubt they'd ever fire anyone to bring back one actor, but you'd think that they'd be able to make some kind of. I mean, he's good friends with Tom Welling.
I know.
That's the thing that surprises me. He's still such good friends with him, who is a producer on the show, and he even directs episodes. Um, like he's such good friends with him. I would have thought that he'd be able to cut a deal, but apparently not.
Yeah. And then rant about that and move on.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So, well, okay, season 8, Doomsday.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I think it's so
Oh
stupid
my goodness.
to bring in the character that's meant to kill Superman. You bring in that character before he's even Superman. Why?
Yeah.
Um, and then you completely blow it off by doing this like 20-second fight scene that ended with him being
20
blown
seconds.
up.
Yeah.
Like
The and this guy can destroy Superman, but he gets blown up by a factory.
yeah, I was because I didn't watch a lot of season 8, but I watched that episode because I was like, oh, cool, this is gonna be like Death of Superman. They're gonna give an awesome fight scene. Um, I mean, geez,
Funny joke.
the animated movie did a better job at that fight scene, and that even wasn't a great movie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that really ticked me off, and I didn't like that whole build up either, like separating. Uh, well, first of all, I don't think Doomsday should have been human, but the fact that they separated uh, Davis Bloom, was that the character's name?
Yeah. Davis Bloom.
Yeah, they separated that from Doomsday, and then that guy ended up killing Jimmy. I was like, oh, what? That was just a really depressing end
Yeah.
to that season.
And I thought this guy just died or whatever. Yeah. He just got up and then he's all like, "What, Chloe? You don't want me? You want this guy?"
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's like they needed to really quickly write him out of the show when they ran out of ideas. They're like, oh, let's just have him friggin' kill Jimmy, and Jimmy can kill him. That's all good. Like, what?
Yeah.
And killing Jimmy
And
really ticked me off because Aaron Ashmore was so good. And then they ended
yeah.
up saying, well, he wasn't Jimmy. He was Henry James Olsen. This little kid's
Oh.
Jimmy. I was like, oh, what the
And this little kid who doesn't even know Chloe, and then he's all like, "You must be Jimmy,"
Yeah, I
and
know. She
she
doesn't
never
know.
met him before.
She doesn't know her husband's family. That makes
Oh, okay.
absolutely no sense.
Well, in defense of Smallville, he says how like he tried to avoid her meeting his family because like he was like embarrassed or something. I'm not giving it leeway. Seriously, just a little defense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but in saying that, like in season 6, like on the in the Thanksgiving episode, Chloe and Jimmy are going out, but they're not spending Thanksgiving together. And this is well, it's not a direct quote, but Chloe says Jimmy is spending it with his family. I'm like, well, this is someone who clearly cares about his family. Like, why the hell wouldn't he invite them to his wedding?
Uh huh. Yeah, that's very true.
What have you thought of Zod?
In season 9 or season 6 and 7, or like end of six and
Well,
beginning 7.
well, what do you think of how have handled Zod?
Lexod was genius.
Hmm.
Like, oh, when they showed him and his whole fight with Clark, and like you just see Michael Rosenbaum playing this role perfectly. It
Yeah,
it was superb. That entire scene with it, like, uh, where he and Clark are talking, saying how he'll join him, and then Clark takes his hand, and then, which was really cool.
yeah,
Uh, and Major Zod in season 9, they handled that very well as well. Very well as well. Wow, that was stupid terminology. Whatever. Uh, they
yeah.
handled that well.